IC championship from a couple seasons ago with that Maridon EX and the Flappy engine, that Dynamotor from way back when. He's known to be a little innovative here. Let's see if he can do it with Team Rocket.
Deck not on very many people's radar going into this event. That Lily's Clefairy EX, an important card at dealing with Dragapult, won't be too important in this matchup. It's really going to be reliant on that Team Rocket Spidops being a grass-type Pokemon. Great in this matchup. We'll take a look at the prize cards. One copy of Badoo in the prizes for Christian could always matter to slow the game down for a deck that's very reliant off Team Rocket's Transceiver earlier on in the game. But besides that, it looks like we're going to have a pretty good match between both of these competitors.
It's so interesting to see the amount of players that have chosen to not fear grass and just bring dark-type decks, and Zoroark is one of the primary victims to falling a wayside to something like a Teal Mask Ogerpon. And Ethan, I mean, with 4 Team Rocket Spidops being played in Juho's deck, this one's going to be interesting for Christian to really kind of get around.
Kicking things off, Swiss round number 10 between Juho and Christian. This will be Juho starting things off. Checking the hand will be the Team Rocket's Transceiver, and you've always got to remember that Proton's so powerful going first. If the hand will allow it, immediately brought to the top of the deck.
Now, I think
on turn 1.
It's so interesting, Ethan, because you look at Juho's deck list, right? And yesterday when we saw Team Rocket's Honchkrow, it's really 4 of these Rocket supporters through and through and ways to find it. But from the way that I'm looking at Juho's list right now, only playing 2 Proton here. So really putting it up to risk for finding that either the Proton itself that turn 1 or the Team Rocket's Transceiver. Juho with this wild list of Team Rocket.
Will be the Team Rocket's Proton played for the turn, allowing Juho to search out 3 basic Pokemon that are Team Rockets, and immediately understands the importance of Spidops. The whole Spider Squad is here. They're ready to start charging up and rushing these Pokemon down over on Christian's side.
Now, the thing is, Christian does have a much more standard Zoroark list compared to some of the other Zoroarks that we did see yesterday, with that En's Darmanitan as a possibility here. So I'm going to hope to see that Juho is going to eventually pivot towards finding that Team Rocket's Articuno with that Repelling Veil to at least protect some of these Tarantulas.
We'll see Proton put these Pokemon onto the bench. Full squad of them coming down. Are there energy attachments for Juho to start powering these Pokemon up? Is the Team Rocket's energy will be put onto the benched Pokemon. Now, it only provides Psychic and Darkness type energy. There is a colorless in that attack cost, and his hand has a lot of item cards. Cyrano for the following turn to grab out some of these evolution Pokemon. As it stands here for Christian, we'll be able to line things up for a solid turn 2. This first turn really just about getting these support Pokemon like Enzarua into play.
And the big thing here, Ethan, is that, like you had mentioned, Cyrano for the next turn. But what is Christian going to be able to do on this one? Does have the Pokepads to at least get things set up with a bench going a little bit wide here, but there's no shuffle supporter like a Lily's Determination in the hand to really refresh on what's going on. So the problem is, while yes, Christian does have the opportunity to set up the board for next turn, the question is what comes after. We'll actually have to rely on some of those trade abilities that Zoroark has to really try and get something going.
Gotta pass a threshold when it comes to set up this. And Zoroark deck is no stranger to having to answer that question. So the first Pokepad played, and it immediately grabs that Darmanitan, or Darumaka, excuse me, hoping to get Darmanitan into play soon. There's an Ultra Ball in the hand. Additionally, wonder if possibly considering grabbing Meowth EX based off how this hand looks, and it will be exactly that, playing down the Meowth. Lily's Determination, not wanting to take a slow approach with Cyrano, instead shuffling the hand back in, drawing 8 cards, and seeing what can come from these additional 8 cards drawn.
It goes back to the point I was originally making. While yes, Cyrano gives you at least the consistency to go on ahead and grab your Zoroark, the rest of Christian's hand was really up to chance with trade. So instead, benching this Meowth EX, using that last-ditch catch, and finding a way to at least refresh the hand. I'm sure Christian would rather work with 8 cards here. I think just like how we were looking on Juho's side for that energy attachment, I think that'll be pretty big here because Christian, while yes, this is a great board, at least for this turn, Ethan, we got to see what we're going with next.
Will be the 8 cards drawn. Looking for that energy, as you mentioned. Buddy Poffin, never a bad sight to see in the opening hand, but there's no energy card. Does find the Ends PP up, which can always allow a Zoroark to get powered up from out of nowhere. Buddy Poffin being played. Immediately looking for that third Zorua, and bench management, a big key piece in this matchup, now that cards like Professor Turo's Scenario can no longer be included in this deck.
That's the big thing here too with the Meowth EX heading to the bench here. That is a great 2-prizer for Juho to really start targeting down here. But for a refreshed hand with 8 cards in it, I actually think Christian probably prefers the hand he threw away before, because there's no direct line to a Zoroark there, at least right now in Christian's hand. But back on over to Juho, gets right into the Spidops, Ethan, and then Lily's Determination, I mean, has already a way of potentially taking a knockout this turn. But the question is, do you really want to right now?
You have to think about the probability of End Zoroark attacking you on the following turn. Are there more Pokemon to get into play? Once you get that first Spidops powered up, that first Grass energy into play, charging up just allows you to string through attacks so easily. Attach Retreat to the active, move the Spidops up, use that charging up ability, and all of a sudden, Rocket's Rush will start to put on pressure. And that is the key piece for Juho, it feels. Attack early, take prize cards, and have to force Christian to have the answers.
It's a callback to Juho's winning LAIC deck from a couple of years ago of let's just go a little bit faster. But Juho's list is very interesting, and it's standardly in a Team Rockets deck. You would expect to see Team Rockets Factory, Ethan. Juho's playing this Prism Tower here, so it allows for a couple of cards to be drawn here, but I can't imagine that Christian's actually going to be too against it if Juho puts that down, because once again, and Zoroark loves throwing cards into the discard and keep drawing in. Will Juho attack this turn? Really considering, I mean, at least getting another Spidops here, but still, I mean, the Ends Darmaka, like you had mentioned, Ethan, threatening an attack next turn.
Susceptible for potentially a power-up attack. Losing that reversal energy so impactful, meaning you're unable to do these big 2-prize swings with that Pokemon. Team Rocket's Rocket Rush will take the knockout. Zorua falls. Darumaka comes to the active spot, and this is a big turn for Christian to see if he can find a way to take a KO on this turn.
Has Fezandipity in hand as well as this Pecharunt EX here too. And my goodness, there it is. I mean, that gets you every support Pokemon you ever could have asked for, right? Has also the Ends Castle as well for the free retreat, but still this Pecharunt EX with its subjugating chains allows for Ends Zoroark to get poisoned, and not only that, but do some more damage with that Binding Mochi tool card as well. So Christian, not only a fresh 8, but 3 more off of Fezandipity as well, and you can only just hope that Christian does find this Ends Zoroark to see even 2 more cards.
Big question now with this bench being locked. The only Ends Pokemon that the Zoroark can copy is the Ends Darmanitan. You can do 90 damage to 2 Pokemon, but it would force you to discard all of those energies attached. There's no basic energy in the discard pile for Backdraft to copy. So see what this looks like, and wow, no Ends Zoroark flipped the script to draw 3 cards, and still this hand, so many cards, but just no outs to Zoroark. With this Darmanitan in the active spot, there's almost no options for Christian in terms of attacking on this turn.
And the thing is, you don't want to leave this Ends Darmanitan into the active here, but you don't technically want to use Ends Castle to retreat into a Meowth EX, because that's a free prize, or free 2 prizes there for Juho. Just going to send up the Fezandipity here. At least it's not weak to grass, it is weak to fighting here. Let's see if Juho is going to take advantage of what honestly feels like a great opportunity for him to go further.
Contemplating that Ultra Ball on the previous turn, it's still in the hand. Can now choose to play that to put some more Pokemon into play. This Rocket's Rush attack capping out at 180 damage, and Juho has chosen to play that Maximum Belt as the A-Spec, boosting damage done to your opponent's Pokemon EX by 50. Especially with the weakness on Zoroark, this would be an excellent turn to be able to use that card to take a KO on Fezandipity.
And using the Team Rockets transceiver here, Ethan, to probably find that Team Rockets Petrol, the one of in this list as well. We're so not used to seeing Team Rockets list not playing 4 copies, but also could be going more aggressive, Ethan. Choosing to take the Team Rockets Giovanni, I'm anticipating seeing more of an aggressive line into some of these energies because, I mean, let's face it, Ethan, and Zoroark is not home for Christian.
Ultra Ball in the hand, discarding the Articuno, finding a 4th Pokemon, and it will be that Mimikyu, Team Rocket's Mimikyu. Big advantage having free retreat, always a great pivoting option with combined on the Giovanni Team Rocket supporter card.
It does also help that Mimikyu's attack Gemstone Mimicry does copy an attack from the opponent's Terra Pokemon, and you combine it with, I think, a card in most players' lists this weekend, Lily's Clefairy EX. You're actually hitting for weakness with it.
Mimikyu hits the board. Supporter yet to be played for Juho. It will be the Team Rockets Giovanni switching both active Pokemon from the bench to the active position. Ends Darmanitan coming up and just immediately targeting down this attacking threat. 5 Pokemon in play. Rockets Rush takes the KO, and Christian unable to find an attack response. Juho takes yet another prize card, and how will Christian respond when a Zoroark attacking will almost certainly go down the following turn?
And this is the big thing with this Meowth being on the bench, Ethan, is that, believe it or not, I mean, Christian is only playing a 1-1 line of this Darumaka and Darmanitan here, but the prize trades now are going to be strongly in Juho's favor. I mean, there's no way as of right now for Christian to get more than 1 knockout per turn here, but granted, and Zoroark finally coming into the fray here, but still, Christian has a lot of time to make up.
Ends PP up, Zoroark fully powered up. Ultra Ball for Zekrom gives this Zoroark an attacker to copy. At minimum, Spidops aiming to be KO'd on this turn. Special red card in hand, cannot play that just yet. Considering yet another Ultra Ball to put Zoroark number 2 into play. Munkidori ends PP up, discarded, and the Lily's Determination will allow Christian to continue to sift through this deck.
How many more cards could you want, though? I mean, this Lily's Determination betrayed Christian last turn, finding him no Zoroarks here, but still, I mean, there was a knockout taken from Juho here, so Christian will at least be able to draw some more cards, use some trades here. But the thing is, Ethan, I'm looking at Christian's list and not playing anything along the lines of an Ends Reshiram, so we'll have to fully commit to using Rampaging Thunder. So it's going to be really important for this Ends Castle to stay in play, so Christian can keep up the aggression.
It's hard for a Zoroark to not expect to be KO'd after using Rampaging Thunder is the bigger issue, it seems. Energy attached to Zoroark. Now your opponent is 2 prize cards ahead. They're on even prize cards. They have a 1 prize Pokemon that can KO you. Can we even call this game winnable for Christian?
It absolutely still is winnable, Ethan, just because of that special red card that Christian is playing. The thing is, when Juho is not playing too many counts of all of the different Rocket supporters, it might be a little bit different here, but look at this, using the Night Stretcher to reestablish another Tarantula here, and granted, you don't even have to swing all the way wide at this point because you know that you're hitting for weakness. Now, thankfully for Juho, he is playing 4 copies of Lily's Determination and 4 of those Arianas. It feels like this list is a little bit wild, but there it is, that Prism Tower here as Christian is going to be picking it up. You get to discard 1 from your hand, draw 2.
See the hand shuffled in. Juho will draw 6 new cards. Still can evolve some of these Pokemon up into play. Find some more options. A bit of a clarification on Prism Tower. It's discard 2, draw 1. If it was the opposite, it was the opposite, I'm pretty sure every deck would want to play this card, unfortunately. Still a bit of extra card draw. Maybe getting some more energy cards in the discard pile. Never a bad effect. Juho off to a great start. Going to go down to just 2 prize cards remaining.
That Prism Tower, Ethan's going to stay in for the rest of the game because that one Ends Castle is actually the only stadium that Christian is playing at this point. Does at least also find the bug catching set and also the maximum belt as well. We know that Spidops is not struggling to take knockouts here, but why not add a little bit of insult to injury just in case Pheasantipity wants to be the next target of an attack?
Bug catching set, finding a couple of grass energy. I'm sure Juho is really looking for Spite Ops to guarantee that Pokemon in play. Without Spite Ops, the special red card can always stick.
I think the biggest thing here, Ethan, now we're pivoting back to the Prism Tower there. If the effect of the stadium is discard 2, draw 1, could discard both of those grass energies and then use the charging up ability from Spite Ops to keep powering up all of the attackers here. So Juho being very creative, free retreat. We're going to see a Rockets Rush for that knockout.
And Zoroark EX going down. Juho 2 prize cards away from winning game number 1. Christian is on the back foot, and with this absolute flurry and army of 1 prize Pokemon, it will take so many attacks from Christian to put himself back in this game. Does importantly, though, find that special red card. Feels like it's now or never for Christian to get back in this game.
It's so funny looking at Christian's list, Ethan. There are so many one-of counts here. So finding not only the one-of special red card, but of course that one-of a spec as well. The secret box, item, tool, supporter, and stadium here. And you can imagine that Christian still wants to keep getting set up here. Now, granted, this is going to send Juho down to just 3 cards. And like you had mentioned in last turn, I'm sure Juho would have rather found a Spite Ops there to at least guarantee another attack. Because if you look at this, Juho's only attackers going down right now.
Darumaka hitting the bench. No more End Zoroark for Christian outside of this active, just having to rely off this special red card for disruption and potentially Flame Body Cannon down the line. Juho will put that hand to the bottom, draw 3 cards. We'll have to hope to miss something like a Team Rocket's Spite Ops on the following turn. See the Rampaging Thunder take the KO. Mimikyu with free retreat moves into the active spot. Card drawn for turn. Can Juho find this KO?
Juho's going to have to take a very risky gambit as well. Discarding 2 cards to find 1. I thought he had the Spite Ops in the hand, but that's actually the discard pile here.
His hand is really weak, Emily. Just Pokemon and energy cards. This is going to be a big 1 card drawn for turn. Just debating which are the best 2 cards to discard. 1 card from Prism Tower. What's it going to be? It's a Night Stretcher, and that will be the game. 4 Pokemon on the bench, plus the charging up. Huge draw from the Prism Tower, and what seemed to be an opportunity for Christian was all for naught. Juho with the Prism Tower, finding that 1 piece and winning game number 1.
Such an odd card from this Chaos Rising set, finding a way into Juho's deck, and believe it or not, like we had mentioned, Ethan, this player is known to play a little bit of a high-risk, high-reward type of style here. Juho, though, and you can see the synergy with that deck as well, discarding multiple grass energies into the discard because that's where you need them anyway to use Team Rocket Spite Ops, and then using charging up to get your attackers going. Now granted, I mean, Juho had a great starting turn for himself. Christian on the other side though barely got set up. Didn't see a Zoroark until what, turn 3?
Pablo, want to bring you in. We've always talked about the theory of this Team Rockets deck having great type coverage, being able to do a lot, but it's always been the list that seems off. Looking at this list, maybe Juho has cracked the code at NAIC.
Juho has been known to crack the code on these underrated decks, right? He did it before with Future Box. Maybe he's now figured out Team Rocket, and Prism Tower might have been the last piece of the puzzle.
Drawing extra cards, never bad, and hitting weakness as well. You've got to imagine when you flip over that active Pokemon, seeing Spite Ops or seeing Zorua, there can't really be a better matchup than this.
And it's all going to be about Darmanitan. Darmanitan has got to be the answer here. Christian needs to set that up quickly, needs to pressure. If he's going to be losing 2 prizes every time, he needs to be taking 2 prizes every time.
Pablo, how do you feel about Juho's list when there's playing a little bit less of those consistency cards? A lot of time Team Rockets wants to see that Team Rockets Proton in that turn 1, and if you don't open that Transceiver or the Proton itself, I mean, what do you do in terms of setup after that?
I mean, it's high risk, high reward, right? The advantage you get from the great typings that the deck boasts, the cards have to come from somewhere. So Lilies takes precedence, this new Prism Tower Stadium as well. Clearly it's paying off, so who are we to question their deck building at this point?
Thank you, Pablo. Christian with an excellent start in Game 2 to get himself back. Secret box discarding a few pieces that may be notable for later on, but it will reward him with 3 trainer cards plus a stadium. Buddy Poffin on turn 1, excellent to get the Zorua into play. Take a opportunity to check the deck, see what's available, and unfortunately that one ends Darumaka is in the prize cards, a key piece for Christian to try and claw his way back in this set.
So instead of Juho being the one that's going to be attacking first, Christian has to guarantee some of these attacks going first here. My big question is, when Christian did play the secret box down, was he going to prioritize the Lily's determination to refresh and see a fresh hand, or the consistency of Cyrano to be able to see those end Zoroarks? Because Lily's determination, Ethan, really kind of betrayed him last game.
Works out sometimes. Sometimes you just don't find the draws you exactly need. So it will be the Lily. Binding Mochi, ends Castle, and that Buddy Poffin immediately playing it to grab double Zorua onto the bench. That pivot already taken care of thanks to Petra on EX being in the active, and there is already the turn 1 energy attachment. So pending one of those end Zoroark EX plus an attacker can be found. Is lining up fairly well for a turn 2 attack, but no, choosing to not attach an energy card for the turn. We'll have to see if that comes back to bite Christian potentially, or what he's planning by holding on to that energy.
Poor Darumaka is going to be sitting in the prize cards for all we know here. I believe there is a Team Rocket's factory, the one of, I believe, in this list, and also an Ariana. So, Ethan, no Team Rocket's Proton here. I feel like I kind of put this on Juho myself, because I was like, what if you don't start the Proton? So now has to get a little bit creative here. That's a lot of energy in hand and not a lot of ways to do so, though. So can draw using the Ariana here, but you got to draw into a couple of Tarantulas at least.
It will gain an additional 2 cards thanks to that Team Rocket's factory being put into play. Just the Ultra Ball as the only Pokemon Surge to start things off. He's going to draw 2 cards with this Team Rocket's factory first. Maximum Belt and Proton for the following turn. So as things stand, this is not a terrible start for Juho. He can get down Spite Ops, and then on the following turn has the evolution plus the ability to search out those Pokemon to power up that Rocket's Rush attack. All things considered, for not having Proton, this will still be a solid start for Juho. Yeah,
and even one Tarantula is better than none at this point here. And you can see the way that Juho was actually thinning cards out of his deck by attaching, I believe that is the Lucky Helmet onto the Mimikyu there, just in case Christian wants to get a little bit aggressive here. But you know that Mimikyu is not the target. It is going to be that little Tarantula on the bench here. Because, you know, at this point, right, why not just take out the only attacker that Juho wants to go with?
Eyeing up Yveltal, trying to get that Pokemon involved with maybe a little bit of clutch action to buy a bit of time. That Dark Feather attack can be copied. Well, it's not a Terra Pokemon, so it can't be copied from that Mimikyu. And we're actually going to see an aggressive play. Boss's orders plus the Mochi from the Pecharunt's Poison will boost Clutch to take a KO on the only attacking threat for Juho on the following turn.
Yeah, Christian making some great adaptations to this point, realizing, you know what, it's not anything other than this one Tarantula that I have to take care of. The end Zoroarks can wait at this point. Why not get a little bit aggressive here? But there's that Proton, Ethan. I'm sure Juho really missed that on that opening turn.
And now what do you do as Juho? You're essentially going to be conceding the first 2 prize cards, completely opposite to how game number 1 went down. Clutch will threaten this Mimikyu to be unable to retreat the following turn, and if you go into any of these Spite Ops you want to keep up and running, and Zoroark can always be a threat. Seems like the tides of battle are slowly turning in the second game.
Heading into this Proton, though, grabbing the Articuno as well. I mean, Juho doesn't know that the one Darumaka is prized, so does at least still want to protect the attackers on Juho's side. But looking at Juho's prizes here, missing a 1-1 line of the Spite Ops. I mean, especially when you're using Rocket's Rush primarily in this matchup, you want to have that bench as full as you kind of feel like you need to here. But that bug catching set as well was a great way for Juho to find the energy out of the deck and then using Prism Tower, excuse me, to discard them.
Getting these Pokemon into play, stringing the attackers together, such a key piece of Juho's strategy, and with that early Tarantula falling, you've always got to imagine what options look like later on in the game. There's the Prism Tower. Can bench all of these Pokemon. There's a Team Rocket's Transceiver in the hand as well for next turn. So while Christian will take the lead, these single prize decks do find a way to come back pretty convincingly in matchups like these. All 3 Pokemon are benched. We can see the attachment for turn onto one of these benched Pokemon to threaten that Rocket's Rush on the following turn.
One of the big things with Christian going for this Yveltal play, Ethan, is going to be relying on Juho's use of Team Rocket's Giovanni, as it is a switch and a gust, technically, for both players to get out of strange situations here. But it seems like this Team Rocket's Articuno is going to go up here, maybe get a lucky helmet attached to it as well, because still, Juho, while yes, you have the Tarantulas down now, what can Juho do after this point to keep things going? Because like you had said, Ethan, I mean, Christian is definitely going up 2 prize cards on his following turn.
Draw for turn, Energy Attachment to Zorua, and Lily's Determination being played. Christian will get 6 cards from the deck. Yveltal already powered up, slowly taking some damage from that poison thanks to the Subjugating Chains ability. But as it stands, a boosted clutch, setting up a 2-hit KO on Team Rocket's Articuno while also preventing it from moving out of the active spot. Pieces are falling in line for Christian. It's just going to be that response from Juho as he continues to develop the board where these 2 players' decks will really start to clash.
It's going to be up to Christian to not evolve here, Ethan. That's going to be the big thing. I think Juho is really anticipating and waiting to use that Team Rocket's Giovanni to get Articuno out of the active and bring and Zoroark up into the active so Juho can go back on the 2-2-2 prize race.
Buddy Poffin being played, thinking about that 3rd Zorua coming down. It'll just be that Pokemon. So bench slowly filling up for Christian. Currently no Ends Pokemon in play. May want to dedicate that last bench spot for an attacker that End Zoroark EX can copy. We'll decide to evolve this End Zorua into Zoroark, trading away what appears to be either Meowth or that Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball the choice, 2 cards drawn. Does find Cyrano for potentially the following turn. We'll just see a clutch for 60 damage, poison ticking up slowly on Yveltal, and 2 cards drawn from the Lucky Helmet, a pair of Transceivers at that, and another great top deck for Juho in that Ultra Ball.
So let's see if Juho is going to find the line of Team Rocket's Giovanni here to at least even the tide, and it looks like that will be coming to at least the front of Juho's deck. And like you had mentioned, it's not the Transceiver that actually did it, but it's that Ultra Ball that was the draw for turn, allowing for Juho to at least get that Spidops up and running. And I see a perfect target to evolve, and it's that Tarantula already on the bench with that energy. No, Juho does also still have the Prism Tower in hand, so if Juho has an extra couple of energies, he can discard 2 and draw another one for his troubles. But still, it'll come down now, Ethan, to making sure Juho is going to reserve these 3 Team Rocket's Giovanni's in deck to make sure he can get out of a clutch trap.
Still needs to make sure he can bench that 4th Pokemon so that Rocket's Rush can take a KO. So we'll see a sequence of event wants to use this Team Rocket's Factory before playing Ultra Ball. Team Rocket's Giovanni used. Now there's the Team Rocket's Factory, 2 cards drawn. Do see another Pokemon. It is that Team Rocket's Mewtwo, just not a great Pokemon to have down in this matchup. So it can be a 2 prize liability, but there is an Ultra Ball in the hand plus Spidops, so the knockout already lined up for Juho, and he's going to be the one taking the prize lead in game number 2.
I just don't think Juho wants to see this Ultra Ball here, Ethan. I think he would much rather see the Night Stretcher to reestablish another Tarantula because of that early knockout from Christian Labella. I know that Juho doesn't want to put this Mewtwo down. Instead, might have to go for another single prize option that's not attacking in this matchup, like either a Mimikyu or an Articuno to get it done. Does actually also have the maximum belt in hand here too, but you can guarantee that Christian's going to find a way to remove it off the board almost immediately here. So has to find a Pokemon that does fit the synergy of the deck right now.
Contemplating his options, thinking about the best way to approach this scenario. Leaving your A-Spec around as late as possible always opens up more doors. The more options you have available in the Pokemon TCG, the better you can navigate through situations like this. It will be that second Team Rocket Spidops coming into play. charging up, yet to be used, so guaranteeing that energy acceleration onto this bench Team Rocket's Spite Ops. And after knocking out this End Zoroark EX, Christian is going to be put in a position where he'll need to either try and disrupt again with Clutch or get that End Zoroark EX attacked again.
I think the biggest thing here for Juho as well is that Team Rocket's Mewtwo might actually come into play as it is benched now, and that actually can be saved for this Pecharunt EX as well. So I'm interested to see if Juho is just going to start turning his attention towards using Team Rocket's Mewtwo in the late game, already going forward with attaching the Team Rocket's energy here. But there it is, Ethan, another Rocket Rush. And Juho was having his back against the wall, at least in this first couple turns, but found a way to use Team Rocket's Giovanni to get himself up in the prize rates by 2.
Immediately playing the Serrano on Christian's side. Pheasantipity EX and a pair of Zoroarks grabbed and put into the hand. Christian needs to find an Ends Pokemon to copy this attack with, plus an Ends PP up. Otherwise, Spite Ops can just allow Juho to run away with this game. These are going to be a big 4 cards, plus that Flip the Script draw on this turn.
You know that Christian Labella is playing the secret box rather than something like an unfair stamp here too, Ethan. So the hand that Juho has right now is still safe, at least for one more prize card, because of that special red card that Christian is playing in the deck here.
Big find, finds the Ends PP up off the Flip the Script. That means the attack is available as long as there's something like a Night Stretcher or a Pokepad to find that End Zekrom for the discard pile or a different Pokemon. And there's the Dark Energy as well. So as things stand, Christian finding another KO, but there's already another Team Rocket Spite Ops on the bench ready to take another knockout on End Zoroark and go down to just 2 prize cards remaining.
It's going to come down to, Ethan, the use of resources here for Juho getting himself back in. We saw that the Night Stretcher was able to make some magic for him last game, but now Juho needs to reestablish one more Pokemon on the board here. But still looking at Juho's board, Ethan, I think Juho has a ton of flexibility whichever way he wants to go in terms of what is the attacker. Already has the Team Rocket's energy onto the Mewtwo ready to go, and does at least have another Spite Ops this turn, but Juho definitely needs to at least reestablish a Tarantula this turn.
Christian responding, evening things up at 4 prize cards, but it will not stay that way for long, ladies and gentlemen. Juho starts the turn off. Spite Ops already in play, 3 benched Pokemon, and a sizable hand to work with. Just considering the options, thinking about how to best approach this turn, a lot of it will rely on something like Night Stretcher to bring back a Tarantula this turn. We'll see 7 cards drawn off the top of the deck. Does choose one of them. Will be that Grass Energy, so another energy coming down into play. Can this Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX find a way to potentially take a KO on that Zoroark while preserving Spite Ops for later?
It might have to be, Ethan, at this time. It's time for Prism Tower to start allowing Juho a couple of extra cards drawn here. The bug catching set into the discarding of the Grass Energy is great, but like you had said, I mean, the condition this turn is Night Stretcher. Needs to at least get one going, because still this 1-1 line of the Spite Ops is locked at least in the prizes for now here. Already attaching the maximum belt as well here too. Ariana, you know what we're looking for.
See those 4 cards drawn. Team Rocket's Factory can draw 2 additional cards as well. No Night Stretcher. There's another bug catching set in the hand. Can potentially play that to see a few more cards off the top. There's not much else to grab, just a few energy cards. Grass Energy put into the hand. It's 1 more card thinned out. And there are 3 Night Stretcher in this list that Juho is playing, so a pretty decent odds of trying to find one of these off of this Rocket's Factory, and if he does, he'll have more attacking options for the following turn.
Does at least have the Team Rocket's Mewtwo ready to go, can combine it with something like a Team Rocket's Giovanni to bring up the Pecharunt EX with those lower hit points here, but still Team Rocket's Factory draw 2 more cards.
Does find the Night Stretcher. That's even more security to put that Tarantula back into play. Now all of a sudden, Juho has the line-up knockout with Team Rocket's Mewtwo on the active, the Spite Ops on the bench, and even more security. It seems that he's shutting every possible door for Christian out of this game.
I would really love to see Juho get that Prism Tower into play here, because you know Juho is already expecting something along the lines of a special red card here now that Juho is going to be going down to 2 prizes. And while yes, this Team Rocket's Mewtwo is great here, you don't want to be left with a lot of energy in your hand. You need them in their discard, Ethan.
2 prize cards taken for Juho now. Just 1 2-prize knockout away from closing this game out. Christian still needs to power up and Zoroark EX this turn. We'll start things out with a Pokepad, thin the deck a little bit from these pieces. But it seems that Juho will really have to miss key, crucial, easy-to-find cards on this following turn if he's going to find a way to not win this game.
It's going to be Christian having to play a little bit more of this weirdly clutch game and just allowing for the Spite Ops to stay in the active here. But still, Juho already has the Rocket's Transceiver in the hand to get out of any clutch shenanigans here too. The Mewtwo is already ready to go to take an knockout on the active Zoroark or a Petron or a Pheasantipity as well here. So can Christian find at least the hand disrupt to make this time a little bit easier?
Just thinking about what the odds are to use abilities first with certain Pokemon, but no, it's going to be the attachment to the active Yveltal and a Lily's Determination, so potentially trying to weave in an attack with that Pokemon later on in the game.
It might just have to be going for clutch this turn, understanding that Juho is going to take a knockout on a single prize and then finding it a little bit later. I think the name of the game is just going to have to be this special red card.
And now that Repelling Veil only works on basic Pokemon, so you can still use clutch onto Spite Ops, but what is that really achieving is the big question. Your opponent just takes another prize card the following turn, and it doesn't really make much of a difference.
Special red card not found. 3 cards off the flip the script. And there it is, Ethan. At least we'll be able to disrupt the hand for Juho, so it's not 100% guaranteed. But like we had said, Repelling Veil doesn't work on basic Pokemon, so this Spite Ops is going to be stuck.
And the ends PP up importantly found as well. We're going to see special red card used. Zoroark moves into the active spot. You have to get aggressive. If you're not taking this Pokemon out, you're really giving your opponent more time. We'll see the Mimikyu come into the active spot. Is there an energy card for Mewtwo to discard? We'll see the retreat into the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. There's the Team Rocket's Mewtwo's Erasure Ball. Just needs the energy card, can discard both of those, knockout and Zoroark EX, and Juho Kallama advances to the next round at 9-1.
Amazing play from Juho with a much more innovative version of Team Rocket's